Whoa, Marty McFly. Were you trying to watch part 2 before part 1? No, 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 no. I ain't working that way. Go watch part 1. Come back and watch part 2. It's a really good part. Part 2 is a great part. Just go watch part 1 first.
And speaking of being around people that do similar things, when you're starting to put together your business plan, to your point, Wayne, it's best to show it to people who have either done this or done something similar versus someone who hasn't. Now, I want to double click on some of the things in the business plan because I think a lot of people get this wrong. The first one is the vision and mission. A lot of people try to create something that would look really good on the wall, but it's too ambiguous and people don't really know what you're trying to do. So when I think about vision, it's what is it that you want to create in the world, right? So fast forward 5 years, 10 years, what is it that you want to create? That's your vision of the future. Mission is why are you doing this? Why is this something that you get up in the morning and put energy into? So if you can clearly articulate that, now the reason why mission and vision are very important is you want to be able to signal to the right people, right, who also have the passion and also want to bring this about. If you're not clear about your vision, then how do you know that you're there? And if you're not clear about your mission, how do you know that you're bringing the right people along? Now, David, I'll start with you. Witty. I think the vision and the mission of Witty is very clear, very tangible. How do you ensure over the decades now that that vision is relevant for the marketplace?
Um, Look, I think it's continuing to evolve, not
Right.
be too rigid. We jumped on AI a month after OpenAI, ChatGPT came out, right?
Did.
And we're
Yeah.
like, we are going to empower our members to learn this stuff
Right.
and the go-to place for them to learn it. Um, not allowing recruiters and recruitment in the community. That's big. You see a lot of these other groups. You look under the hood, it's recruiters are trying to pull people like our partners are our goal. We want to help people elevate and stay there because their company is powered by Witty, not leave, right? That was a change from what we did in the past where we thought, oh, career fairs is a way to go or something, and just never agreed with it. But sometimes, we see companies doing things and you're at different points in your growth where, you have to do certain things. COVID, I just got done doing kind of a 4-year transformation of Witty, had just kind of finalized the business plan at the end of January 2020.
Right.
Boom, a month later, COVID.
Hmm.
I mean, sweat, let's fortunately, we had a lot of the tech that helped us pivot quickly. And it's a roller coaster, right? But I feel like, now as long as look, the two most important things, serve our stakeholders, right? Some are the most important thing is our members to help them elevate and get whatever they want, followed closely by our partners, 1A and 1B, because if we can help them grow and say, wow, as soon as we started our partnership with Witty, employee retention was better, people were happier, our profits soared, we had engagement. That's what it's all about, right? If we can help our
Absolutely.
members be in a space where they can get into their zone, help companies understand that that's the real win-win. When you talk about diversity, when you talk about DEI, it's not coming from a place of let's comply and let's risk and let's put on some PR show. It's like, let's let everybody be fully authentic in how they're being. Then they're going to be happier. The company's going to get more out of them, and everybody wins.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Being able to pivot is definitely the secret. Now, Wayne, marketing strategy. I'm thinking about starting my own business. I'm looking online, I'm looking at the videos. There's so many things out there in terms of marketing strategy. How does one figure out what is best for their business?
Well, it's all marketing anyway is about finding your customer.
Mhm.
And nobody that I've ever seen knows who that is. That needs to be sussed out. That needs to be tested. The way that I do it personally, and I do it across the board pretty much for every one of my business, is native advertising, putting content, my content, near where people are looking for it, and then finding out who responds to me and then gives me money for whatever product that is. Okay. What you're trying to do is build a pixel. A pixel is a picture of who your customer is. Is it male? Is it female? Are they 5'9"? Are they 6 foot tall? As much information. That's why you carry around this phone, is because people are constantly building a pixel from you, what your interests are. How much did you pay for an office chair? What's the average you spend at Christmas? All of that goes into your pixel, and you can find out who your customer, once you have a pixel, you can find out who your customer is very, very quickly, A, and B, only advertise to those people in your pixel. Because if you are advertising to people outside of your pixel, they have no intention on ever buying from you. And they are not your customer. They are other people. The
Selling steak
customer is
to
always
vegans.
right. Well,
Yep.
not everybody's a customer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100% agree. Now, I have a question for you. Moving along to, I'd say, legal and accounting, the ancillary support, right? So you're starting out your own business. Um, would you recommend people just going to like a legal Zoom, or should they talk to uh, uh law office? Like how would you recommend people figure out if their business should be a sole proprietorship, LLC, S corp, C corp? Where should people start?
That is going to come from wherever you are in the country.
Okay.
To be honest with you, what is your local government? What is your state government, your local government? What does your government look like? I'm in California, and so I LLC is the way that I went, and I needed to have a limited liability corporation. I needed to make sure that nobody's going to be coming for me personally and suing the bejesus out of me, right? But I'll tell you, I would have felt way more comfortable as a sole proprietorship in a place like Texas, in a place like Arizona, where you're not going to have that hanging over your head all the time. I would never give anybody advice one way or the other, except to say, find out what the laws are like in your area and then proceed from there. Listen, not hiring an attorney is probably the most expensive thing you can do. Not hiring. You think hiring an attorney is expensive? Try not hiring one and tell me how that works out for you. Okay, I have learned the hard way that there are definitely very good uses for an attorney.
Same thing with accountants. What's your tagline, David? Amateurs. Oh no, no.
Not mine. Professionals are expensive, or experts are expensive, but amateurs cost a fortune.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Something like that. That's
Absolutely.
Ken's dad,
Yeah.
right? Look, I had a friend recently, didn't want to hire movers, then smashed the TV, would have paid for the movers.
Yep. There you go.
Right.
Is that
So
friend of yours bald by any chance?
Wearing a blue shirt.
Wearing a blue shirt today? Hmm?
Look, listen,
The
like,
point's well taken, David. I am a 57-year-old man,
don't show
and
this to your wife. Don't show this to your wife.
my wife is still not speaking to me because I smashed her TV on the ground.
Speaking of which, execution. So the plan was to move the TV without smashing it.
Right.
So now that you have your business structure in place, you have your mission, you have your vision, you know what you're going after. Now we're talking about, all right, actual execution, launch plan, right? So you're about to start to launch your business, either you're making product or offering services. What are the things that someone new to their business should think about? And I'll start with you, Wayne, when you're about to launch your business.
Well, every entrepreneur knows that really entrepreneur is a fancy word for fireman, for punter, for stuntman. Okay. You got to be able to
Comedian.
you got to be able to react to things very quickly and put out fires. You have to be able to be a jack of all trades, right? Very rarely do I see someone open a business where all the pieces are in place the moment that the door is open. That's really a very poor way of doing things. And I'll tell you why. Because an entrepreneur needs to know how to mechanic. He needs to know how to solve certain problems. If you're able to turn to your left or your right and to ask whoever it is you brought along with you or whoever you've hired to do certain things without you knowing whether or not they can do them correctly, you're really failing yourself and you're actually hurting your education. You definitely need to do these things. Know who to call when you need an LLC. Know who to call when it comes time to purchase another business or a piece of your business that maybe was missing, right? You do not want to rely on just anybody wandering around and that you've, given a couple bucks to. That's not the way to do this. You need to be a jack of all trades. You need to have your hand in a lot of different things and be able to multitask. And so that's what I would say to you. Networking, you need to be a really good or get really good at networking, talking to other people, finding out what you can do for them as much as what they can do for you. And look, adaptation, man, I mean, Charles Darwin would have been a great example of an entrepreneur because he noticed the adaptation in all of these animals that are around, right? You need a certain beak for a certain job, and you need to have talons sometimes, right? Or you need to have very soft paws. So these things are interchangeable as long as you have the tools. And you need to get those tools, acquire them from somewhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'd love to go back to your point on adapt and iterate. David, you talked about this a little bit earlier. The secret is to be able to adapt. Like for you, especially 35 years, I'm sure you had to reinvent yourself. You're probably on your 8th iteration. As the market changed, you need to change in order to survive.
Today's rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, effective project management is more crucial than ever. Many organizations struggle with achieving their goals due to inefficiencies and lack of direction. Tony Robbins' RPM framework can transform this approach. The RPM framework provides a roadmap for success. You'll soon see how applying these principles can revolutionize healthcare project management and lead to better outcomes for everyone involved. Let's take a deeper dive into applying the RPM framework to healthcare project management. It all begins with defining your outcomes. Think improved patient care, operational efficiency, and data accuracy. These goals set the stage for transformation. Next, understand your why. This is where you align your efforts with greater purposes like patient-centered care, innovation, and sustainability. A clear why gives you direction and purpose. Now, create your roadmap. Engage stakeholders early and often. Conduct readiness assessments to gauge where you are and what you need. Develop comprehensive training programs to bring everyone up to speed. Set concrete milestones and metrics so you can measure progress along the way. And don't forget, communication is key. Regular updates keep everyone aligned and motivated. Lastly, focus on the 20% of actions that will yield 80% of the results. This principle keeps you efficient and effective, concentrating efforts where they matter most. By following these steps, you harness the power of the RPM framework to reimagine project management in healthcare. This approach transforms outcomes and drives innovation in real-world examples. By applying the RPM framework, healthcare organizations can achieve transformative results. Imagine enhanced patient care, streamlined operations, and accurate data management. These are not just possibilities, but tangible outcomes. Real-life examples showcase the remarkable successes already achieved. Increased efficiency in patient care and precise data management demonstrates the framework's profound impact. Now, it's your turn to start the transformation. If you seek guidance or assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Your journey to better healthcare project management begins now. Your first step in this adventure is contacting Ian Slade at ian@itconsultinggroup.com. He can guide your path from there.
Oh, go ahead, David.
I was just going to say, look, it is being agile, right? For us, it was also going back to the original mission and core values, right? Like I didn't, as we brought in different, CEOs or people to lead the company, I was kind of off running Criterion Research or Webolution, a risk analysis group, my other companies I'd created over the years. But then, as I got the reins of the business, and then, my mom had kind of checked out. She was more focused on building her Love Dogs camp. I said, wow, let me kind of go back. And have either of you looked at the Wayback Machine or heard of it?
Oh, for sure.
Right. I'll bet many of our guests haven't. May I share my screen for a minute, Wayne?
Oh, absolutely. Hold on one second. Let me, that'd be interesting to, yeah, there you go.
This was, our first website, right? So this was the Witty Campus, one worldwide meeting place where you'd enter the Witty Campus and you could go.
Oh, wow.
You could go to the networking cafe, right? Now, we didn't imagine that Zoom, you'd be able to come to events and go into breakout rooms and connect with people, chat tables, right? Bulletin boards, the calendar, right? Or go to the off-campus shuttle that was modeled after the
Scooby-Doo.
Was modeled after the Riverwalk in San Antonio. Right? You could go to the Wellbeing Center. We have the Yoga Nidra meditation every Saturday. You see some of the women slant on this. We always encourage men to participate in Witty because it really wasn't about that. It was just, it was men and women back then, in late 80s, early 90s, I think there was probably, we'd all agree, there were two buckets that you were in. Now there's different shades of how people, identify themselves, which is fine. What does any of that have to do with us, working together and supporting each other and being able to be authentic to get the best out of each other? So then as I said, wow, now we got all these tools. We can kind of create the Witty Campus and be the platform to allow, just to make it easy to spin up Witty, South Carolina, to spin up Odyssey for men, to support men, to spin up Forged, which is our women's leadership community. And then have many events where it's everybody, because it's really the core values that's the alignment of everybody that wants to be part of the community to help everybody accelerate and get there faster and smarter. So I think that it's just, it's exciting now. And I think again, that was one thing for me. It was kind of reinventing and looking new, but then it's like, before, what was why did we start this to begin with? We're unique. We've been around a long time. You can easy, the .com, we grew, then it tanked, then, everybody abandoned us. So we had to regroup then, right? So anyway, Yeah, exciting times. But Ian, over to you. I know we've been going a while. We can complete.
Yeah, no, I think this has been our longest episode, but there's a lot that we went into.
Oh, I beg
And
to differ. I'm going to make this part 1 and part 2. So the first part will be 1 through 5. The
Oh,
second
perfect.
part will be 6 through 10. So we'll have 2 podcasts at the end of this. Once we're finished, that'll be pretty equal. And it won't be too bad. People can, and most likely they'll come out at the same exact time. We have some very rabid fans, you guys. So I want you to understand, some of our analytics, which is what we're going to talk about right now. Some of our analytics let me know that there are people picking up what we are putting down. So be heartened.
Right. Yeah, listen. And you're saying it's long, I co-host a podcast.
Poker.
It's not poker. He'll go 8 hours.
8 hours. Yeah, we're not doing that.
But
But look,
usually I'm sleeping during most of it, but I'll pop in. So, this is nothing,
You make Joe Rogan look like a YouTube Shorts.
yeah, TikTok.
TikTok.
He's going on TikTok.
That's
do
right.
Shout out to Poker Fraud Alert and .com. And then, the EB, the Late podcast with Eric Benzamokin, who I think might be coming to Odyssey tomorrow. I've been really getting into. So
Awesome.
Ian, let's do number 10.
Yep.
This is my favorite one.
Yes. So number 10, ongoing assessment, Kaizen, right? How do we continuously improve what we're doing? And Wayne, this is something that I think we bond on, and that is metrics. Measure, 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 measure twice, cut once, make sure that you're measuring what you want to manage. So KPIs. So let's talk a little bit about straight talk commerce. What are the things, Wayne, that you look at after each podcast and after you put up all of the shorts? What are some of the metrics to show that we're going in the right direction?
Well, look, I mean, of course, we want to gain subscribers. So the amount of people that watch an episode and then subscribe, which I would like to invite everyone to like and subscribe this podcast. If it's something that you like and we're going to be doing more of, we 100% want to have you along for the ride. So that's one of the key performance indicators, right? The next thing is length of time someone's watching our video. Okay, sometimes we think, well, everybody watches all of every video. That's not exactly true. Some people drop off within the first, 2 or 3 minutes. The minute that David opens his mouth, we see a very sharp decline on the amount of people in our audience. Now, look, it's not fair to Dave. I would urge you to just, hold your breath. When Dave is talking, hold your breath through that. No, it really is interesting to see.
Make a sandwich.
Right. Go to the bathroom. That's a very good key performance indicator. Go to the bathroom when David is speaking. No. The thing is, though, how many people return for more videos, right? You have first-time video people watching, or if it was a different type of business, first-time customer. How many repeat customers do you have? These are things you need to pay attention to. Because if you have very few repeat customers, that is something that you can now generate content, generate things to make repeat customers. Maybe you throw a special, hey, 20% off your second visit to our store, right? Look, getting them to buy from you once, great, congratulations. It's getting them to buy from you multiple times, becoming a favorite hamburger, becoming a favorite line of clothing. That's really where you want to be. And the only way you're going to get there is by putting that roadmap in front of you, those analytics in front of you, and knowing what your numbers are.
Absolutely. I'm speaking of numbers, I'm looking at our current subscriber ticker, and we're up to 930. And this is crazy because we just started 2 months ago, if that. And now
when we started this podcast, we were at 917.
No, no, like 2 months.
917 when this podcast started. So if we're at 930 right now, and generally speaking, we get between 25 and 40 new subscribers per day.
Wow.
So that is a key performance indicator that you really want to pay attention to. Is the word getting out? Is the marketing that you're doing, are those people coming, and are they staying? Because we were at 920, we went down to 917. 3 or 4 people decided this wasn't for them after they subscribed. Go figure. You're going to have those things, right? You want to keep as many of those subscribers or keep as many of those customers as you possibly can, but get comfortable with the fact that you're going to lose people along the way.
Absolutely.
That's just part of doing business.
Yep.
Right.
Now-
It's all about value, right? If we're providing value, we want people to stay and get value. If they're not getting value, we don't want to clog up your feed.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right now, if you stop mentioning hamburger, because I did just get winning for the game for me that I was recording. The one, so we will have a hockey game 7 that's good.
Well, look, one of the reasons that you want to maintain these analytics and you want to continuously improve. You want to, month over month over month, if you're not paying attention to these, key things, you have no idea whether you took that left turn at Albuquerque, and you don't know what piece of content or what line of shoes or what, I don't know, what widget it was that took you over the top. If you're not paying attention to your analytics, you don't have a business, in my estimation.
For sure. And having a two-way street with the community and the listeners, right? We're not right all the time, right?
Speak
we're
for
gonna
yourself, David.
We're gonna adjust. We're gonna get feedback. Things are gonna change, There was a point in time where Wayne would never have listened to a kid like Mr. Beast. Now, he's
It's 100% true.
right. The student has become the master, or is that what they say, right? So
Master has become the student. Yeah. So
the agile.
speaking of metrics, our most popular video is episode 2, 1.4 thousand views. Why do you guys think that is? What was in episode 2 that made it special?
There's 2 things. Number 1, when you're starting a YouTube channel, I've learned this from Mr. Beast, as a matter of fact, and you're promoting that channel, the first thing you want to do is get views. People do not subscribe to things that other people are not watching.
Absolutely.
So the first couple episodes, the promotion was for views. And so we put it out there in a way that more people would watch, not necessarily subscribe. And then I tried and said, okay, now we've got some videos out here that are very respectable. They're over 1,000 people in just a few short weeks have watched it. Now let's see what a promotion would do of trying to get people to subscribe, putting these same videos in a place where people like to subscribe to them, right? And that's why. But I will note that some of our later videos are quickly catching and surpassing the ones that I promoted for views only. So that tells you something. If you're paying attention to what your analytics, what that's telling you is that people are watching these videos, right? Maybe not all the way to completion, but enough. And they're coming back and watching other videos, or they're watching several videos back to back to back to back. So there you go.
All right. So now let's do the quick roundup, as we always do.
Right.
Starting with number 10, ongoing assessment. This is where you look at key performance indicators or KPIs. Make sure you're tracking the right stuff. Number 9, execution. And fellas, feel free to jump in, want to add to it. Execution, making sure that you have a launch plan, but also to Wayne's point, make sure that you understand that your launch is not going to go perfect. It's going to be okay. You need to adapt and iterate. Number 8, legal considerations, and I would like to add accounting. make sure that you go to the experts. Don't try to do this yourself if this is not your area of expertise. To quote David, an amateur professional is expensive, but an amateur costs a fortune. Number 7, business plan. Make sure that you're clear on your vision, your mission. What is your marketing strategy? What are your projections? What are you trying to reach? Have a plan. Know that it will change, but don't start out without one.
Let me
Financial
just say to
planning.
that. Let me
Yep.
say something to that.
Go
Okay.
on.
There's a saying, those that do not plan to fail, or those that fail to plan to fail.
Plan to fail.
Okay. If
Absolutely.
you do not have a plan on how this is going to go, guess what? It is going to fail.
Absolutely. Yep. Plan it out. Plan it out. Success happens twice, right? Once in a plan and another in reality. So
Yep.
make sure that you plan it out.
Not to say that you're not going to have to make adjustments to make that plan work. I mean, you may
100%.
be wildly off on your projections. And by the way, I will also say one more thing.
Sure.
Look, yes, get a professional, accounting, a legal, but these are also things that you want to pay very close attention to and at least know how to do. You do not want someone coming in and doing some bad accounting for you, and where
Absolutely.
you don't even know what you're looking at and don't know, what you're not aware. Okay. So sorry.
Learn as you go.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You got to know these things. These are all skills to your business.
Yep. And speaking of learning as you go, financial planning, understanding your budget, understanding your startup costs, operating expenses, understanding funding. Are you going to bootstrap? Are you going to ask for funding? What does that mean in terms of equity? Validation. So, okay, now that you have an idea, you want to try it out. We talked about MVP, minimal viable product, right? Start out with something with just a few features, right? And see what feedback you get from your customers. Number 4, business model. You want to know what kind of revenue streams, right? Wayne talked about the different ways that you can get revenue stream. It's not just about the product you sell. As Wayne mentioned, Mr. Beast has his own, was it fried chicken? He said, has
Yeah.
t-shirts,
Chicken fingers.
chicken
Yeah.
fingers.
Yeah, yes. Hey, look, man, laugh it up. That kid is going to the BANK. Okay.
That's right.
Today's competitive job market, simply applying for roles isn't enough. Let me show you a smarter approach. Hi, I'm David Leeton with over 30 years of executive search expertise. Together, we'll unlock hidden opportunities. By leveraging the Woody Network and LinkedIn, we'll target companies on the rise where your skills truly shine. Let's explore unadvertised roles in growth-focused companies, aligning your aspirations with thriving organizations. Together, we'll craft a personalized strategy to connect you with the career opportunities you deserve. Experience a tailored approach that goes beyond traditional job hunting, paving the way for your professional success. Join me on this journey to unlock your full potential and secure a fulfilling role in a company you admire. Let's navigate the job market together, leveraging my expertise to guide you towards your dream career path. It's time to step into a future where your professional journey is defined by purpose and passion. Let's make it happen. Discover a new way to approach job hunting, tailored to your unique strengths and ambitions. Your success story starts now. When you are ready, contact us at witty.com.
No,
Love
I
it.
mean, even Magic Johnson has a fat burger, right?
He's all
So,
over the place. Right.
yep, absolutely. We also talked about making sure you know your cost structure, fixed costs and variable costs, and all the other costs that come in between. Scalability. We talked about, is it right for you? If it is, great. If not, that's okay too. Maybe your business is built around the fact that it's unique, it's scarce, and people line up around the block to get to it, and that's fine as well. Number 3, identify a problem to solve. I think this is one of the most important things when you're thinking about starting your own business. What pain points? As someone, I think Tim Ferriss puts it, scratch your own itch. Start with your own problems, right? What are the things that no one has a solution for you? And see if other people have the same problem. Wayne, you talked about you just moved and you couldn't find someone to help you put up your TV. Maybe that's something that, other people might have problem. Probably not the TV, but maybe things around the house, simple carpentry stuff.
It's a very good example. I was watching Dragon's Den, which is the UK's or Australia's version of Shark Tank.
Shark Tank, yeah.
Right. And this woman came on and she had a powder that she put on her hands when she went to the beach, to her kids to the beach. She had this powder. She developed this powder that she would put on these kids and make the sand just fall off of them. So it was she noticed that every time she took the kids to the beach, she lived on the Isle of Man. Every time she took the kids to the beach, she brought half the beach with them. Everybody that has kids and has gone taking them to the beach, they know that feeling, right? She identified that problem and came up with a can of powder that basically they wiped on their hands, they wiped on their bodies, and the sand just fell off of them. And
Wow.
that to me was genius.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. You should see my Acura MDX. It's just it has sand from 10 years ago. I can't get out of it.
Right.
We also talked about your unique value proposition, right? What makes your solution unique to the marketplace? What is that different twist that you bring to your product or service that differentiates you from your competitors? Number two, market research. What's out there? What's trending? What's the demand? Who's in it? Who's your competition? Understanding this will help you better position your business. And number one, we talked about self-assessment. What are you passionate about? What are your interests? What are you good at? And you need to be honest about this one. If you're good at it, then people, will try your product or service. If not, well, they'll move along. And lastly, values and goals. What is the impact that you want to do with this business, and what are your long-term goals? So knowing your long-term goals will also signal to the people who want to come along for the ride. So there you have it, folks. Our top 10 things to consider when starting a business. Wayne, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. And one thing we forgot to mention, though, I think, one of our most exciting sessions of the week, Ian, is in your digital health community.
Yeah,
We do Sleep Doctor there on June 27th at noon Pacific.
absolutely. Dr. Bruce.
Watch the high. I mean, I had no idea how much there was to know about sleep.
There's a lot to know about sleep, and as people are starting to double click on longevity, one of the best things that you can do is to maximize your sleep. It is the longest activity we all do, a third of our lives, so might as well do it right. So yep, Sleep Doctor. Before we go, Wayne, can you tell us a little bit about how people can discover MelodyClouds? Where do they need to go?
Yeah, there'll be links in the description for Witty, for HPMA, and for MelodyClouds. Also, interspersed, everybody knows this, interspersed within the episodes, I put each one of our, businesses in a short little, informational commercial, I guess you would call it. And, we're very proud of the work that we do, right? And we try to work together really, really well in order to be successful. And look, we are living examples of what we're trying. We're practicing what we preach, right? The three of us came together just like any other business entrepreneur can do, and form a group and form a coalition and really feed off of one another. And we've been doing this now. This right now will be our 7th and 8th episode. Okay.
Past episode 6.
Because episode 6 just went up today. And sorry it was late, everybody. I do want to acknowledge that episode 6 was late, but if we hadn't mentioned it, I moved. And so that was a difficult thing to do and still get everything up on time. There are still more shorts from that are going up as we speak. I think that was just one of them you may have heard, but yeah, so that's where we are right now.
Awesome. And before we go, Wayne, do you want to talk a little bit about our on-site live event that we're planning for this year?
So, what's interesting that you mentioned, I'm glad that you mentioned that. We are planning on having an event where people can come, they can talk about their business, they can sit in front of in a Shark Tank kind of atmosphere. And I was talking to someone with a venue that I really wanted. I really wanted to get into this venue. And one of the things that we had to do was, reassess, and we had to punt. And so it's going to be held at a different venue. And I'll announce that when it's signed up and everything's ready to go. But look, in the September, November timeframe, we will have a seminar that people can attend. They can get good advice. They can network with one another. They can meet with entrepreneurs. They can learn about all of it. Even if you don't have a business, if you're looking to start a business, this would be perfect for you, because we're going to cover KDP, Shopify, drop shipping, all of the businesses that you see, whether it's a YouTube channel, whether Twitch streaming, whatever it is. We're going to talk about 99% of those things that you can do online, because this is e-commerce.
Absolutely. All right. With that, Wayne, David, always a pleasure. Good luck with the move, Wayne. And for all of you who are still listening, thank you so much. And we hope to see you in our next episode.
Training with Radio Hall of Famer Gary Meyer on podcasting, public speaking, and radio announcing offers numerous benefits that can significantly enhance your skills and career prospects. Gary's extensive professional experience provides a wealth of knowledge and practical insights, particularly in engaging and retaining an audience. For podcasting, this includes mastering the tone of voice, pacing, and the strategic use of humor and emotion to create a strong personal connection with listeners. In public speaking, Gary emphasizes authenticity, clarity, and confidence, teaching techniques such as effective body language, eye contact, and vocal modulation to ensure your message resonates deeply. His insights into audience psychology help you read and respond to real-time reactions, making your speeches impactful and memorable. For radio announcing, Gary's training focuses on developing a rich, expressive vocal presence that conveys personality and warmth, essential for creating a vivid mental picture for listeners. This includes technical aspects like voice modulation, pitch control, and timing, along with practical advice on script preparation and handling live broadcasts. Gary's training includes real-world simulations, providing hands-on experience and personalized feedback to refine your skills. Additionally, networking opportunities with industry professionals and fellow trainees can open doors to new possibilities and collaborations. Gary's comprehensive programs cover content creation, audience analysis, narrative construction, and retention strategies, ensuring a thorough understanding of all aspects of these fields. He also emphasizes personal growth, building self-confidence and resilience, and offers insights into the business side, including monetization and branding strategies. Gary Meyer's training equips you with the tools, confidence, and connections needed to excel in podcasting, public speaking, and radio announcing. Contact Gary on LinkedIn today to get started.